That's it, folks. We have finally closed the book on Chapter 6, and I have barely touched the game in the last 3 months. Chapter 6 was an interesting ride that hit some colossally big potholes along the way, so I figured I'd share my thoughts on it for a bit before I dive into where the hell I've been for the last few months. Plus, I'm going to sprinkle in a few fun Fortnite Creative maps in the background here and there that I think are worth checking out. Anyway, what the hell happened to Fortnite? We started Chapter 6 off with one of the best seasons we've had in a while, with an amazing theme, a beautiful map, sick bosses, and more importantly, the sprites. I mean, fun Fortnite Creative maps. No, but mostly the sprites. Also, Godzilla was there. I'd like to forget about that. But then we got Lawless, and this dumb rapping pickle that I want to just stomp on really hard till I can't see its face anymore. Now, I know this channel isn't about Battle Royale, but I feel more excited to play the game in general when the BR mode is good. The community's energy is better overall, all the modes tend to be packed, and it makes me confident spending days digging for fun maps and writing dumb scripts where I say lines like, "They look like a Digimon had sex with a Mighty Bean and then forced their illegitimate children to work in the mines." But while there was a large portion of the community that shared my disinterest in what was essentially a GTA Fortnite season, I would happily take that over Galactic Battle. I'm sure you've already heard enough people rant about this disaster though, and probably even heard a few folks say stuff like, "This season was awesome," which really stresses the importance of supporting better mental health care, but I won't belabor the point. Let's move on to another Superman season, because the first time wasn't enough and DC truly believes if they just reboot Superman one more time, we'll finally forget all of these. We will not. Also, the last time Superman came to Fortnite, he was just there. He had nothing to do with the story, and I was fine with that. But this time, he's suddenly the full driving force behind half the season. He helped build the academies to train everyone, and he's the only reason we didn't get crushed by the space octopus. We've defeated countless bosses before without the help of a brand deal, so why did we need him now? And why did we need the damn Power Rangers? Look, the bug invasion was a cool concept, but they were incredibly weak and eventually got nerfed even further before Megazord wiped them from the storyline entirely before the season was even over. We were casually slaying queens with Sabrina Carpenter and a couple guns we found on the ground. Clunky Japanese robots with knives need not apply here. I wasn't the only one to fully check out during this season either. We were hitting all-time low player counts despite the minority of people denying that anything was wrong with the game, because if there was, they would have to come to grips with the amount of money they'd spend on things like Cheese Feet and Billie Eilish skins, and how all that will mean nothing if the game goes away. And look, I'm not ready to come to grips with that either. I have spent a lot of money to play Barbie dress up with guns, but there comes a point where you gotta admit something isn't going right. And I thought that time was gonna be the Simpsons season, but then everyone came back to play it. A second full collab season in the same year with countless more collab skins in the shop, but everyone is for it? Look, I don't envy the folks at Epic that have to look at the community optic numbers and determine what works and what doesn't, because as a community, we're the most inconsistent mother. Some of y'all went from, "I'm so sick of everything in Fortnite being a collab," to, "Oh, I can finally recreate the Homer Simpson Bush meme in game? That's awesome." Regardless of what I think of the Simpsons season, I'm happy to see folks coming back, and I'm hoping that Chapter 7 gives them a reason to stick around. I think Chapter 7 has a lot of potential from what I've seen, and I hope Epic is finally starting to listen to the overgrown children like myself that truly don't want to see Fortnite just become Roblox but with more ads. Or maybe I'm completely fucking wrong and it's about to get a lot worse. I guess we'll just have to gamble on that fun little idea together, huh? Because we are in this together. I'm not letting you leave. I've boarded the front door and stole your car keys. I need you for this, alright? Genuinely, I wouldn't keep doing this if awesome folks like you weren't watching. Because, I can just talk to myself about all this and don't need to stay up till midnight scripting it all out. By the way, it is midnight, and my eyes feel like a cat is violently raving on top of them. I forgot where I was going with this. I think what I was getting at is thank you. Thank you to everyone that's followed me from the start, and thank you to everyone that subscribed to me during the last 3 months despite me posting almost nothing. If you're watching this at all right now, I suppose I should also thank the algorithm for not entirely burying my channel under 6 feet of concrete because I took some time off. I had been writing a totally different idea for a video for a couple months. A real essay of a video about the rocky future of Fortnite Creative that I rewrote at least 3 times and, in retrospect, read like I was trying to appease my old AP English teacher. But a month ago, I pitched a much more positive version of the idea to a different channel, and got to actually bring it to life with some other amazing folks, because God knows I couldn't finish this damn thing on my own apparently. That version should be out in the next few weeks, and I'll be sure to link it in the description for anyone that's watching this in the future. But of course, that still left me with no video on my channel, so I wanted to make this video to help myself get back into the swing of things. I have been burnt out. Burnt out on Fortnite, burnt out at my job that also revolves around Fortnite, and burnt out in my personal life. And I've always been a big supporter of taking mental health breaks without second thought. and I encourage my team to do the same. Because at the end of the day, you're not really going to get far if you don't even have the willpower to start the day. But I'm starting to feel better about things now. I won't say I'm fully back on the horse, but I'm up at midnight writing a whole script, which is something, and I'm going to give myself credit for that. At this point, I'm going to take the small wins because I need that precious serotonin wherever I can get it. I can't promise that I'll suddenly have new videos out every week, but I'm certainly going to do my best not to be gone for 3 months. It genuinely did not feel that long. I even surprised myself with that one. But anyway, there will be more videos again covering creative and game design and all that fun stuff. I also want to thank the handful of people that did join as a channel member despite that content being slow as well. I definitely plan on getting some new content out for y'all on a regular basis, so if you're considering joining as a channel member, I will make it worth the $5 for you, I promise. I also have a couple creative maps that I'll be launching over the next month or two that I'm incredibly excited about. I'll probably be teasing them soon in my Discord, so if you want to join, the link is in the description. But before I wrap this up, I did want to show you part of my original vision for this video, or technically the second version of my original vision after 2 rewrites before my final, which, look, my point is, it would make me feel better to show you even a tiny bit of it before I scrap this version entirely. Again, this did get reworked into a more grand and positive idea for another channel that will be out soon, or now if you're a time traveler. But I did have the first 2 minutes of this old version fully edited and I thought it was fun, so I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you soon in a hopefully much more positive era for Fortnite. When I initially started writing the script for this video, I had an entirely different concept in mind. A much simpler one where I'd play through this really cool new map, Sven Gabat, whose name I'm probably butchering, and give you my honest, lengthy review about how amazing I think the map is, likely with some sarcastic quips sprinkled throughout. And if that's all you really want to hear from me on this channel, then I'll make it easy. Go play this map now. 12 out of 10, map code is on screen, roll credits. But if you're still here, I'd like to talk about something a little deeper. A feeling that kept creeping into my mind more than this terrifying doll will when I try to go to sleep tonight. The feeling that I was staring at an alternate Fortnite future. A quixotic dream many of us still swear is real. Now, some of you are probably thinking, wow, Dave, are you really about to wax poetic about a game where you can make Sabrina Carpenter perform gymnastics while Hank Hill eats ramen in the background? Well, yes. Yes, I am. I'm also going to teach you a bit of Latin. There's a classical argument term in Latin called modus tollens, which is essentially the act of going back and questioning your initial assumptions about something to determine why it didn't pan out the way you expected. I found myself doing this with the State of Unreal presentation that Epic gave during GDC in 2023. Here, they would officially reveal to the public that their flagship game engine tools would finally be coming to Fortnite Creative in the form of UEFN. I was locked to my screen, watching them go on and on about all the possibilities we could finally have access to. I drooled over the example maps that looked nothing like the game I had been playing terribly for years, and I got so excited for the future of Fortnite and everything myself and the rest of the community was about to cook up. And if you're watching this, I imagine you probably left the stream feeling the same way. But as I sat here 2.5 years later, trying to avoid this creepy child and her hatred for personal savings, I felt detached. It was like seeing your high school crush again, but now you're both married in your 40s and neither of you ended up doing that road trip through Europe you always talked about. But for a moment, you can still see what your future together could have been, even if that future wasn't meant for you. I was currently experiencing the best Fortnite map I had personally ever played. Sure, it was buggy with its fair share of game-breaking issues and it turned out to be an advertisement for a German bank, but I was finally getting to experience a little bit of that future that could have been.